open to the public. You can stand up, state your name and your street address.
Danielle Cajun, 1018 Wildwood Road.
Like, did you hear all that? We have to hear it, write it down.
1018 Wildwood Road, Danielle Cajun.
T.I., whatever my mother was.
Yes, T-I-K-I-J-I-A-N. I just have a question on E6 with the secretarial position. Is she going to be paid on the union side?
The secretarial position, that is a board office, so that will be determined by the superintendent, not be a member of the union.
So the salary is not going to be based on the,
Not necessarily.
but you don't know for sure.
Dr. Angela has to still post for it.
Thank you. And then who supervises the custodial summer help?
Kevin Williamson, our buildings supervisor.
Thank you.
Hi, Amy Syracuse, 519 High Street. Sorry I'm not at full strength tonight, but because of that, I'm going to read. I felt it was important to be here tonight to revisit the topics of public relations and communications that I raised at the last meeting. I hope I'm not breaking news here, but I was told earlier today that the Board of Education has asked OPTV Chair Nick Gussink to attend its May 24th public meeting and to answer the board's questions. Assuming that's all correct?
That's not correct. We asked him to attend a finance technology committee meeting.
Okay, so could we clarify then
Yes,
before I
because-
continue?
Well, you finish and then I'll, go ahead.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is, as you plan for that conversation, I would encourage you to take inventory of the school's audio equipment and current levels of use so the district can assess the proposal's true cost. Since the last meeting, I've learned that the school currently owns some of the necessary audio equipment to broadcast meetings, and that would reduce the cost that was estimated. In addition, I encourage you to gather public feedback, and after you complete your research, to hold a roll call vote. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight is the public's relationship with the board. I've heard it said that Oradell parents don't care about what the Board of Education does, and I find that endlessly frustrating. You see, it's hard to care about something when you don't understand what it is and how it impacts your life. And it's time for the Board of Education to accept some responsibility for providing insufficient information access. It's time to recognize the low public engagement that inaction can create. Not only has the Board of Education not been proactive in communicating with residents, but some of its current practices make it needlessly burdensome for the public to remain informed, to have even a basic understanding of who you are and what you do. For example, the Board of Education's online scheduled public meetings does not display meeting times or locations. Its website does not include committee assignments or email addresses for individual board members. Among residents who take the time and initiative to find out when and where public meetings are held, many find weekday evening meetings incompatible with their lives. No alternative option to meet with board members has been offered, not a booth at Oradell Family Day or a Board of Education meet and greet, perhaps held before or after a PTA meeting where parents typically gather. Poor information access doesn't fix apathy. In fact, it allows it to take root and grow. If it is true that parents do not care about what this Board of Education does, I cannot think of a more distressing assessment of your work. So how do you fix this problem? I've already talked about increasing information access. Working with OPTV to broadcast public meetings and to archive meeting videos online is one simple and cost-effective improvement. This would also allow the board to reach residents outside of the school system. Dorothy, when we talked the other day, you asked me about other school districts that broadcast meetings. Among Bergen County school districts that televise Board of Education meetings are Ridgewood, Glenrock, Tenafly, Fort Lee, Clifton, and Hackensack. Franklin Lakes offers audio podcasting of Board of Education meetings. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking that Oradell School District is much smaller than these districts. And you're right, but I must emphasize the fact that few municipalities of Oradell size have television stations. They don't have the technology resources and production expertise that our town has. For many towns our size, broadcasting meetings is prohibitively costly. That is not the case in Oradell. In addition to television access, it would be prudent for the Board of Education to evaluate other aspects of its communications. Last meeting, the topic of newsletters came up. I do not believe a newsletter has been published for the school year. Riverdale Public School District publishes a hard copy newsletter, and I did bring a copy for your reference. Printing and mailing probably isn't necessary given the tight school budget, but an electronic newsletter from time to time would be a good start. I would be happy to share suggestions of free, user-friendly design software. Borough-wide communication vehicles. Yes, there is a separation between the Board of Education and other borough operations, but given the need for this board to communicate with all residents and taxpayers, not just current parents, I don't see any reason you couldn't ask if Board of Education information could be included in existing borough communication vehicles. You could request Board of Education meetings to be added to the borough's online and hard copy calendars. You could speak to OPTV about having the superintendent or board members interviewed on a new Meet Your Neighbors segment being produced for the channel. We're all fond of the efficiencies that shared services offer, and this should be no exception. Email communications. I know parents have received a few news bulletins from the board, for example, the recent water quality update and new superintendent hiring. But parents do not receive general board communications. I'm not suggesting that this should be a significant area of focus, but there are certain transition times when it is appropriate and indeed welcome for the Board of Education to introduce itself and to encourage parents to attend meetings and get involved. When families enroll students in kindergarten and or when new residents register students are ideal opportunities for this type of outreach. The OPS website. Sigh. Previously, I mentioned some essential omissions from the board's web content. If you weren't taking notes, you can refer back to the video Mrs. Castor will be posting. Hopefully the audio is audible. In seriousness, the board's web content must be reviewed and improved. It is at best incomplete. If you want to encourage feedback from residents, you could consider adding a virtual suggestion box like the one that the Franklin Lake School Board uses. It's a simple online form that allows resident feedback to be captured. The TNET Public Schools website has an excellent page that explains Board of Education meeting formats, protocols, and procedures to address the board, as well as details about running for board positions. Speaking of the school website and information access, this week I emailed Mr. Beisig to inquire about budget allocations for the school district's website content management system and for newsletter communications. I completed an Open Public Records Act request for the 2017-2018 and 2016-2017 full budget files, but I found that these did not include the specific line items I was looking for. My request for specific numbers went unanswered yesterday and today. I understand you still have a few more days to fill my request, and if additional paperwork is required, I'd be happy to complete it. However, these line items could offer cost savings opportunities and should be examined. Perhaps we could even find enough savings to fund the purchase of a few microphones. In closing, I want to mention the reason we're all here, to give Oradell students the best education possible. I have spent enough time in the school to know that our teachers aren't asking our students to meet the state's minimum educational standards. They expect our students to work to the best of their ability, to go above and beyond. I know that our superintendent and admin team aren't asking teachers to do the bare minimum of work. They expect OPS staff to live up to the phrase emblazoned on the sign out front, Oradell Public School, a tradition of excellence. I am here today to represent the community in asking you, our elected board members, to lead by example. Public communications that only meet legal requirements are inadequate. Aspiring to a low bar is inconsistent with the vision Oradell has for its school district. We are calling on you to do better. Finally, Dr. Ansel, I realize that my candid words may not sound like the warmest of welcomes, but I hope they are received in the way they were intended, as a path to creating a better and stronger school district. You are the 4th superintendent in my 4 years at OPS. I am very happy you are here, and I hope that you will continue to dialogue with the community in your effort to make Oradell Public School District the best that it can be. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I do have one question for you, because when we talked in the parking lot, you said you were going to sharpen your pencil in.
On the numbers?
Yeah, and then you were going to say you could raise funds, because what I did explain to you is
Well,
that.
we need a number before we can talk about funds. And to get a number, I need an inventory of what the school has and its availability. I mean, you mentioned you were concerned about logistics of moving equipment. from my understanding, a lot of the equipment that's needed actually is very infrequently used. But I can't get this information from you. You have to get this information.
So once we get it, then we can give you a number.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Nick Bessing, Chairman of OPTV. I'm here actually just to see how this system works, first of all. Dr. Angel called me today asking me to come May 24th to talk about OPTV and its relationship here with coverage. I decided to come because I had gotten a note so there was a meeting tonight, so I figured if there were any questions you wanted to ask of me, you can. Now, you were basically asking a person here to speak up a little bit. Well, that's the problem too. I'm sitting right close, and there's some words I cannot make out. You guys should have had amplification in this room or any other room that you decide to hold the meeting so people can actually hear you. That's why it is also necessary for OPTV, not just to bring a camera, but to be able to hear and justify everything that's being said. We have a facility as of last August to archive our meetings on a website, Oradell's website. Actually, it originates out of Princeton, New Jersey, at the Telview Corporation. They host it for us. So, like last night's meeting that we had in the borough is actually up online already, so anybody could watch it. Same could be said for this. We could record it, bring it back. Obviously, if we were at the Borough Hall on the second floor in the auditorium there, we could do it live and record it, schedule a time for it to be played out every week, and also archive it on the Borough website. So if you have any other questions, let me know.
Thank you.
Also, is May 24th still a valid day?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Any other comments?
Hi, Kelly Castro, 521 Mildred. Just stand up,
Don't block the camera.
Everyone else started. I guess I just wanted to confirm, if we get the equipment, if through some funding or depending on how that's going to come in, if we have the equipment, do we have the authority to use that equipment to put it, use the microphones, use all the better cameras and everything? We have permission to use that, or we just have to go through the same process where we let you guys know it's going to be recorded, or is there additional?
So Dr. Ansel, I don't know if you were here when we asked Dr. Ansel to take a look at this subject for us. So he has actually started. He's reached out to all the superintendents of Bergen. He's actually done a lot of work on this. So just so you know the processes for the board.
Yes.
He's researching. We talked about this evening. When he is done getting all his information together, and when we say researching, we're researching overall communications. We're not just researching televising. We're reaching out. We're researching the best way and what type of information to get to the public. I will say, yes, we admit that we have been a little bit lax in it lately, but I want everyone to understand that we have gone through a lot of transitions, and people have to understand it is not the 9 board members who are elected that do this. We're not the ones who are doing the website. We're not the ones who are writing the newsletters. So it comes from our staff in the building. So it has to, there are other things. Dr. Ansel came in. We have already spoken about it, but there are other things going on. So he's researching. He's going to bring it to the committees. We're having Mr. Besnick come to the committee. Those committees will discuss. They'll make recommendations to the full board, and at that point, it'll be a discussion.
Okay, I guess what I'm just trying to figure out is, should I put forth effort of my own to start raising funds, or should I hold off to find out if we can use
I
the?
think there's interest there, but we're going to wait to hear what Dr. Ansel recommends also, because that is how it works on a board. We work through the superintendent